David. Would you like to check your audio? David Barry, would you like to make sure your audio is working?
Hello?
Great, thank you.
Okay, great.
Hello, Paul. Would you like to check your audio for us? Hello, Commissioner Snow.
Hello, can you hear me out there?
Yes, thank you.
All right. And now, can you see me? Let's see. Start video. Ah, there I am.
There you are.
Perfect.
And Jenny, hello. Would you like to test your audio for me? Try unmuting yourself.
There we go. Hi.
Excellent. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi there. Stephanie, sounds good. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Paul Pascal, do you mind checking your audio for me? I see that you've unmuted yourself. I'm still not hearing anything though. Still not hearing you, Paul. I'm not sure. Looks like you might be calling in. I'm not sure.
Leslie, is that something you can take a look at?
If it's Paul's computer, I won't be able to do anything. What he can do is he can call in again, and then we can try unmuting him and muting him.
It looks like he dropped out. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, once he comes back, we can troubleshoot from there.
Okay, thanks. Hi, everyone. This is Dave. I'll be your clerk today. Just as a reminder, we are live on the internet, and we will begin the broadcast at approximately 1:30.
Hello, Chris Cheladin. Would you like to check your audio for me? Hello, Paul. I see you on video. You are still muted if you want to unmute and check your audio.
Here we go. Sorry, I have
Awesome.
to use my phone. I was having problems with my computer.
No problem. This looks great.
Okay. So, for some reason, I don't see any video.
You don't see anyone's video?
Nope. I wonder if that has anything to do on my end. So I could see you guys on the computer, but I couldn't interact. And here I am on my phone. I can hear everybody. I can see me, but I can't see anyone.
Okay. You might see if there's a way to change your view.
Let's see, take a look. Yeah.
You might also start seeing people. I do not have my video on, so you might, when people with video start talking, you might start seeing them.
Mm-hmm. Ah, here we go. I had to swipe right.
There you go.
And here I am with my Corona beard.
I'm laughing, but forgot to unmute. Chris
Hi, this is-
Cheladin, will you check your audio? Thank you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, sounds great.
Great, thank you.
Thanks. Ms. Chim, will you check your audio for me?
Oh, okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Jenny, have you heard from Tony?
Well, earlier this morning, but not right now.
Okay. He asked me to send him the link, and I told him to check his spam folder and let me know if he hadn't received it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I didn't hear back from him.
Yeah, that's all I've heard too.
Okay. Oh, there he is. Looks like he's connecting right now.
Perfect.
Hello, Tony Estremera. Would you like to check your audio for me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sounds good. Thank you.
Good. Let me see what I can do. See if I can get my. Oh, okay. I got.
Great. Glenn Williams, would you like to check your audio for me?
I would be happy to do that. I hear you fine.
Great. You sound good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Are we on? Are we ready?
We're almost ready, Tony. Before we get started, we have a couple of representatives here for seat number 1. So it looks like Mr. Williams, Mr. Berry, and Mr. Felice are all here. So I just need to know who will be doing the official voting for this seat, since we can't have all 3 voting.
I'm assuming it will be me since I'm the regular. They're alternates.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that. Mr. Chair, just so you are aware, because we're doing these meetings virtually, Council has advised that we do a roll call vote on every action that you take. So whereas in a normal meeting, you would just say all in favor, say aye, we have to go through each member who's present and get their vote individually.
Yes.
I believe we're past 1:30, so if you'd like to start, you're certainly welcome to, sir.
Okay.
And Dave, we have a quorum, right?
We do.
All right. Great.
We'll establish that after we get the roll call.
Okay. So we'll call call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Member Barry is an alternate and he's here. Member Chim,
Here?
Member Estremera,
Here.
Member Gomez,
Here?
Member Klein is absent. Member Pascal,
Present.
Member Snow.
Here.
Thank you, sir. You have a quorum.
Thank you.
Why-
Thank you, David.
I'm sorry, why was I not called?
My apologies, Mr. Williams.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, all, including Mr. Williams. We'll move right along to approval of, let's see, public comment. Now's the time for any member of the public that wishes to address us on any issue not on the agenda to address us if they want to. Do we have any requests, Jenny or David?
We have no speakers, Mr. Chair.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, David. We'll move right along then to approval of the consent calendar and any changes to the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Great. We'll take a roll call, David.
Thank you. Member Chim, you're muted.
Darn it. Okay.
Now we can hear you.
All right. So are we voting on it or what are we doing?
Yes, we're voting right now.
So yay?
Thank you. Member Estremera,
Yes, aye.
Member Gomez,
Yes.
Member Pascal,
Yes.
Member Snow,
Aye.
and Member Williams.
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Motion passes. Thank you, David. We'll move right along to item 4, adopt resolution to approve the issuance of the refunding bonds of the successor agency to the Morgan Hill Redevelopment Agency and certain actions that are relating to that. Jane?
Yes, I thought their finance advisor was going to be on, but he's not here. So basically,
Jenny, it looks like he might have used the public link. Stephen Cordler,
Oh.
is that correct?
yeah.
Okay, one moment. We'll move him up to a panelist. Mr. Gortler, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
So we have Stephen Gortler here. He's the financial advisor for the refunding bonds. And I think, Stephen, you wanted to just make a little presentation, correct?
Yes, thank you. I'll give you guys a brief summary of the transaction, answer any questions that you have. It won't take very long. I do want to thank you very much for holding the meeting. I know it's challenging circumstances and it's much appreciated. Also on the line, in case there are questions that I can't answer, we've got our financing team. They're available from the city directly. We've got the finance director, Dat Nguyen, and the assistant to the city manager, Harjo Sangha. And then also we've got our bond counsel, disclosure counsel, and underwriter on the line as well. So we've got everybody here if you have any questions. I'll give you a quick background on everything and then answer any questions as we go. So this transaction started back in February. At the time, interest rates were very low and the savings from this transaction were very substantial. Back in 2013, the successor agency previously issued about $88 million worth of bonds. About $7 million of those bonds are currently outstanding today. When we started this transaction in February, some basically 4 months ago, at the time, the savings from refunding the 2013 bonds were roughly $640,000 per year. or about 10% on a present value basis, which in general is considered a very good amount of savings for a transaction of this type. And it was on that basis that the city and the successor agency elected to proceed with the transaction. Back on April 1st, the successor agency held a meeting and they approved the transaction, again with the expectation that the savings would approximate $600,000 to $640,000, about 10% on a present value basis. Since that time, of course, the financial markets have undergone a lot of dislocation. Interest rates have bounced around quite a bit. There's a great deal of risk perceived in the market right now because of the state of the economy. So where we are right now today is that we're not quite at the $600,000 level of savings that we had anticipated when we started. But we are hopeful that in the coming weeks or months, that the market will continue to recover and that we'll be back to the target level of savings. But I do want to make it clear that right now we have a ways to go. Nonetheless, we still have some work to do as well. Once this meeting concludes, if the Oversight Board should approve this refinancing, we then need to submit the transaction to the State Department of Finance for their approval. That could take anywhere from 15 to 30 to 60 days, depending upon how quickly they turn it around. And then there's some work to do after that. So it might not be another month or two before we're actually in a position to sell the bonds. And so it all depends on where the market is. If for some reason the market's not favorable when that time comes, then we'll wait and watch. And if and when the opportunity arises to hit our savings target, then we'll go forward. But I do want to make it clear that there's a little bit of waiting involved in the process. So I think some, if not all of you, have been involved in these types of transactions before. It's a straightforward transaction for the most part. There's one aspect to this transaction, though, that is not traditional, and that is the fact that as currently contemplated, the bonds that we're proposing to issue are taxable bonds for the purpose of refunding outstanding bonds that were tax exempt. And that's because of legal considerations. We don't have the legal authority to issue tax-exempt bonds today. And so these bonds can only be issued as taxable bonds today. A couple of years from now, if for some reason the refunding has not yet occurred, then in 2023, 3 years from now, we will be legally authorized to issue tax-exempt bonds. So it is possible that might come to pass if we can't hit our savings target during the intervening period. But I did want to point that out because it is the one aspect of this transaction that is not typical. So, I mean, I think that's most of the important information, but I'm happy to answer questions or circle back and address issues that I raised that I didn't explain fully.
Great, thank you. Questions? Mr. Williams?
Yes. If bond counsel could give me a quick clarification on this. If you do not hit, if the market is such that 3 months from now or whenever it is that you're attempting to do this, you don't hit the target that you scheduled at 647, does that preclude you from issuing bonds if in fact the savings are only 500,000? Or can you?
Yeah, I can address the issue directly. The resolution that was adopted by the successor agency board, it states that the requirements are either to achieve 10% present value savings or the $640,000 amount, or such lesser amount as may be determined by the executive director, who in this case is the city manager. So there is flexibility. The city it has the discretion to elect to issue the bonds at a lower amount.
Okay, that was the question. Thank you.
Any further questions? Mr. Snow? Okay. If there's nothing further, I entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
I move to approve the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
No. Any questions, discussion?
I actually have a few questions.
Great. Yes.
Are you refunding a portion of the bond or the full bond itself?
We are refunding 100% of the outstanding bonds that were issued back in 2013. We're not leaving any of those bonds outstanding.
So if the savings is about $600,000 a year, so you're looking at a 12-year funding, is that what it is?
Yeah, final maturity of the bonds is 2032, so it's roughly 12 years.
Okay, just double checking.
No problem. Any other questions? Okay, there be no other questions, then we'll have a roll call, please.
Thank
David?
you. Member Chim,
Aye.
Member Estremera,
Aye.
Member Gomez,
Aye.
Member Pascal,
Aye.
Member Snow,
Aye.
and Member Williams.
Aye, 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 aye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, the motion carries unanimously. Thank you all. We'll move right along then to number 5, adopt resolution authorizing the successor agency to the redevelopment agency, the city of Santa Clara, to execute and implement the compensation agreement related to the disposition of the real property known as the Santa Clara Convention Center and its common area parcels. Jane?
All right. Yes, this is for the compensation agreement. It's on the convention center in Santa Clara. And basically this was required within the long-range property management plan and the settlement agreement that was agreed upon between the parties in the lawsuit, the county and the city and successor agency. And so those two documents laid out the compensation piece that's within this agreement, and the city has previously approved it, and the county board of supervisors approved the compensation agreement back in March 2020 this year. And going forward, we will have to go out and get the remaining taxing entity signatures. And so those are the next.
Mr. Williams?
No questions. I'm excited about it, and I think that Chris Chaladan and all the people who worked so hard on this for the last 5 years deserve, a round of applause. Congratulations.
Absolutely. We all agree. And thank you again for helping with that. If there's no questions, then we'll have a roll call on the resolution. David?
You need a motion and a second on that, sir?
We did get a motion. Didn't we get a motion? I'm sorry. I thought we did.
Not on this item, sir.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move to approve.
Is there a second?
I second.
I can second.
There's a second, Ms. Gomez. Okay, now we have a motion and a second. No further discussion, and I don't have any more questions. So we'll have a roll call on the resolution.
Member Chim,
Aye.
Member Estremera,
Aye.
Member Gomez,
Aye.
Member Pascal,
Aye.
Member Snow,
Aye.
and Member Williams.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Jenny, is this a separate one item? Santa Clara Convention Center covenants, conditions, and restrictions?
I think it's the same.
I thought it was together, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the attachment to the compensation agreement.
Okay, good. It was just separated on the agenda, so I want to make sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and we did the consent calendar. So is everyone okay with the cancellation of the July 17th regular meeting? I don't think we have anything outstanding. That's why we don't have anything, right, Jenny?
That's correct. This was kind of to replace that so we could get the bonds ahead earlier.
Got it. Okay, great. So we'll adjourn to the next regularly scheduled meeting on Friday, September 25th at 1:30. It might be in the chambers or it might be virtual. We'll see. But either way, we'll see all of you then. Take care and be safe. And Jenny, David, I'll come right down there right now to sign the resolution.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.